today to talk about our book club for the month of May. We decided to read the book More Than Enough by Elaine Welteroth. These are my best friends, Monique and Taylor. And we decided to put this book club together because we're so focused, on social media nowadays, always scrolling. So we're like, we need to read a book and, just take a break from reality for a while, especially during quarantine. So let's talk about Elaine. Elaine is an author. She's a writer, and she was the first Black editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. So she just makes monumental movements all the time. So we are very excited, to read about her and her journey, just from childhood to currently her adulthood.
So there are 7 of us total in the book club, but we all live in different states. We're the only ones who live in the Maryland area. So we came together so we could discuss the questions that we came up with to go deeper into the book.
Yes, shout out to Bria, Camille, Anaya, and Cabria.
Yay!
We missed y'all.
I wish you guys were here.
I know.
We already basically had like a whole book club meeting for this book, but we're just going to go over the questions that Zoe made up for us, so that we can just discuss further in depth.
Yep, so basically we're going to give you kind of a background of what the book is about, who Elaine is, and why we liked it so much. So Taylor's kind of going to read that from the beginning of the book.
Okay, so pretty much it says, throughout her life and career, Welteroth has had to contend with the notion that she wasn't enough. As a young girl, not pretty enough, not smart enough. As a mixed race person, not black enough, not white enough. As a professional, not old enough, not fashion enough. But now she's had enough of the world telling women they are not enough.
Which is why we love it. It's so motivational. If you guys ever have the time to read
it.
Yes.
Read it.
10 out of 10. Recommend.
10 out of 10. Did it take you long to get into the book? Did it take you long?
Oh, you go first.
So I don't think it took me long to get into it. Like it captured you from the beginning, but since this is like the first book I've read all the way through since probably high school.
Right? I don't know how
Literally, I don't know how long. It took me long to get back into the motion of reading again. So.
Personally, for me, it didn't really take me a while to get into the book. I thought it was very interesting. So I will say that I kind of like binge read the book in like 2 different sessions. So yeah, it didn't take me long.
Okay, for me, I don't want to say it took me long, but I started becoming more interested in chapter 4, which kind of talks about her finding her identity and her identifying herself as a black woman because she is mixed with black and white. Just even her talking about the journey of her discovering her hair and her natural curls, because that's something that happened to me specifically, so that's something that really dragged me in. So that's what I would say. It didn't take me long, but it was a part of the book and I'm like, yeah, I want to read this. So what was your favorite quote and or chapter that you read in More Than Enough? I guess okay, so my favorite chapter was chapter 5 and chapter 13. It's a tie between them because I'm hopeless romantic, so those chapters really talked about her basically finding love and breaking up, just everything, just in her romantic journey, I guess. And I just loved reading it, even though some parts made me mad because how boys were treating her at some points, but I did love those chapters. It was something that, I feel like every girl can relate to because we've all been through some journeys, but somebody else can go.
I'll go. Okay, so I don't have really a favorite quote, at least I don't think I do, but my favorite chapter is chapter 5, and it's called Ride or Die Syndrome, and Elaine pretty much just talks about how she had this guy who was her boyfriend, and she nicknamed him First Love. She pretty much just talked about the trials and tribulations of the relationship. Like, she was with him the end of high school.
Yeah,
throughout high school, and then during her first year or 2 of college, and she pretty much just talked about how she kind of followed him to college. And don't ever do that. Don't.
No.
Please don't.
Don't do that. But yeah, she pretty much followed him to college, and this man ended up going to jail. So she was pretty much just talking about how she thought she had to be a ride or die, and she had to go through all these ups and downs in order to be happy with this man because she thought she was gonna marry him and stuff. But it usually does not play out like that. So don't follow any guys to college. Make your own decisions. And if that man goes to jail, math is here.
My favorite quote was at the end of chapter 4, which was called Pretty or But Ugly. And it says, for so much of our lives, we are told what beauty is, what it looks like, who possesses it, who doesn't. And the ones pushed to the margins are rarely given the pen to write ourselves and our own definitions in. And I think that quote spoke to me because it's like, you know, we're always looking at the media for what beauty is, what should be right, what should be wrong, you know, what people fantasize over and everything. So her putting that in the book is like, wow, like, yeah, beauty is not always what it seems. It can be anything that you think is beautiful. Like, everyone is beautiful. We're all people. We're all human creations that God made us to be. And it's like, you telling someone they're ugly or you not liking them because they're a darker skin color than you or whatever, it's just not right. Like, we're all beautiful and we're all made in God's creation. So that's why I like that quote.
I really admire Elaine's passion and drive throughout her career. What do you think about Elaine's willingness to take risks and be bold? So let me give a little context about that situation. Basically, Elaine worked herself up from the bottom of the barrel to the top. Just by her hard work and dedication and her passion for what she does, and she really stuck up for herself and everything that she believed. She even started at Ebony magazine as an intern, and now she got to editor-in-chief at Teen Vogue. Like, that's amazing. That's drastic, especially for her being the first Black woman to ever do that.
Right.
So that's kind of the background of the question. So does anybody want to answer?
Okay. So I definitely admire her passion and her persistence. Like, even with her getting the internship, pounding down Harriet Cole, like calling her literally her office every day, every hour, like making sure she got even a glimpse of a conversation with her. So that's like really, that's like a good thing, a good trait to have, because you don't even see that now. Like, a lot of people, they just want to get the easy way to the top, you know. No one really wants to put in the work, and it's not like that for everybody. Everybody doesn't have it easy. So knowing that there are ways to continue to do hard work and continue to be persistent, it was just good seeing that and reading about that. Definitely, because we're about to be on our next journey, going into working and all that stuff. So we're gonna need to learn how to have a dream and be persistent on it, and work until we get to where we want to be. So that's why I like that.
Elaine continues to rise up the corporate ladder despite the opinions, support of her colleagues, and age. Do you think living in the corporate world is the most challenging for a Black person, or more specifically a Black woman? So I definitely think it's more challenging for Black women. Definitely because, I mean, Black women are pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. There's white men, white women, Black men, and then Black women. So we kind of have to like take what we're given and like make it work. We have to figure out what to do with it, and it kind of like makes me proud that we're able to do that, but we should not have to do that.
My parents always taught me is that as a Black person, you're going to have to work twice as hard, but as a Black woman, you're going to have to work 4 times as hard to get the respect, or even, you know, just be seen as on the same level as anybody else. You're going to have to work, and the fact that it's like that is really sad. But I do think it's definitely harder for a Black woman in corporate America compared to just a Black person in general, because men have the upper hand, and it shouldn't be like that. It's ridiculous. There should be no reason why it's still like that. It's 2020.
Right.
So that's my little piece on it.
Yeah. Definitely agree with everything. Black women are definitely at the bottom of the barrel, and it sucks that it's like that. It's amazing that we're still able to balance that and still be accomplished the way we are. Like, seeing all these people, all these successful Black women at the top is inspiring for us, because it's like, yeah, we have to work and do so much to get there, but in the end, it's like, when we do get there, it's just gonna feel amazing when that all comes together. Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve where you have to literally learn how to be a different person to survive in their world. So it's crazy.
It's like you have like different personalities. You have your work personality, and then you have like your schooling personality, and then you have the personality with your friends and family. And
you have your phone voice. When you pick up the phone.
Thank you for calling.
The question is, what genre do you guys
motivational books, and I still like that we are continuing with that. But I would also like to get into science fiction, fantasy, that type of thing. Cause like I love reading the Hunger Games, like Divergent, that series and stuff. I just like those books. It's kind of like an escape from reality. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree with Momo. I like the sci-fi, the fantasy, and like the dystopian, theme. I just personally feel like when I read those types of books, I kind of like get sucked into it as if I'm in the book, and I like that you can kind of like escape from what's going on right now in the world. Especially with Black people being killed every day, or just being Black. But it kind of just gives me a break from seeing that in the media every single day.
So the book that we're reading for the month of June is Relationship Goals by Michael Todd. And we're really excited to read that. I started reading, but I can't spill anything, so I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. But
I'm excited to get into it.
Right, I'm excited.
Be on the lookout for that.
I'll have another video for you.
Yes, coming soon. So, in conclusion from us reading More Than Enough from Elaine Welteroth, the quote that I think is the number one that everyone should take away from it, just reading about her and her journey, is you have done enough, you are enough, you were born enough, and the world is waiting on you. So that's what we would like you to take away from our book club meeting.
Don't let anybody say anything.
Very important, because at the end of the day, you have to have the confidence within yourself to be yourself and to move forward in life. So, watch next month. Bye.
Bye.
It's like diamond milk.
We're about to stop this.
It might be offensive. I put enough on.
Okay, guys, ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Should we be looking this
I know.
way?
I don't know if to look while you're
awkward.
talking. Should I be looking at you? Should I be looking at the camera?
You guys can do whatever.
Okay.
Basically, in the front of the book, it says, throughout her life and career, Welteroth has... I can't read.
I'll read it.
Okay. Okay.
How do you scratch my back? Scratch my back.
Guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys. I can crop that. Okay.
Let us say hi.
Okay.
They don't know who's who.
Ready? Okay. I really admired how Elaine's passion and drive through. Scratch that. I really admired Elaine's passion and drive throughout her career.
Lord have mercy.
And like, and what I took away from it, and like, no.
Okay, let's cheers.
Oh,
Oh, okay.